training.
Right. You gonna ask me that again, Jackson?
Of course, every week, yeah.
I already gave you that scoop last night on the radio. You should listen to that in case I already answered that question.
He's still in neutral, right?
Who?
Jordan.
Yeah, but when he comes back, he was not in neutral in all of our possession, everything. He is in full training. Just in the final little game there, I had him as a neutral. When he comes back from this weekend, he'll be in absolute full training.
So he's doing everything, he's just not.
It's because the doctors have to look at him, Jeremiah, that they have to check that box. He's ready to go. My humble.
So doing some math at the roster, it looks like you might be eligible for emergency call-ups again. Is that accurate?
I think we have enough so far. I mean, providing, knock on wood, anything happens, any of these guys, I think we're okay.
So there's no plan right now to make no hardship calls or whatever?
Not yet.
Okay.
We talked about it a little bit just because we were a little unsure of Benezet, but he looks pretty good. So
We've seen Leo Chu out a few times. What have been your impressions since he got here?
I mean, you see what he's got. He's a talented kid, fast. I mean, he's pretty fast. Quickness. So, just need to incorporate him. I already told you guys it is, the way we play might not suit his exact skill set, so we're working him.
Yeah, you've been using him off the bench, and then when Morris does get back, how appealing is it to be able to have two speedsters be able to just change games off the bench for you?
It'll be fun. I enjoy having speed on the field. There's different ways to beat opponents. It's not all about speed. You have to have the right balance of this. Nobody thinks JP's fast, but what he did last game was pretty impressive.
There were some hiccups defensively in the last game. I was wondering.
Just individual plays. We talked about concentration. In a playoff game, it's not my bad. In a playoff game, that mistake might cost us. We've already addressed that.
Well, how difficult it is for you and the other teams in the league to play these games during World Cup qualifying?
Normally we don't. This is a rescheduled game. We don't schedule games during the FIFA windows. So that's just because we did well in Leagues Cup.
So the league put out the playoff clinch scenarios today, or updated them today, and apparently you guys clinched with a point against Vancouver. Is that something you talk about at all?
I won't talk about it internally to the players because I think it's not necessary. But what I would say, Jeremiah, is that look, it's coming down to the final parts of the year. It's rainy and cold the way we like it. It's a playoff atmosphere. There's only 3 home games. I sure hope that the Seattle Sunshine chant is out in full force and everybody in the ECS is there and they're enjoying the rain and they're enjoying a good performance and they're enjoying the team because we only got 3 games left. So what I would say is externally, I hope everybody shows up and we play well down the stretch and we extend our season a little bit.
I mean, getting ahead of ourselves there, but with the supporter shield, Matt, there's a big numerical gap there still. Is that something you guys talked about at all?
Look, Bruce, again, I've gone on record many times. Good for Bruce. Really good for Bruce. Big accomplishment. He's a great coach. Their team's really good.
Vancouver's been in a really good run of form, and they gave you obviously some trouble the last time they were here. Just kind of what have you seen from them that's had them go on this run to get into potential?
We'll dive into it. Manny Sartuni, the coach, actually was at my pro license course as one of the instructors, so he's a good coach and a good guy. You get that new guy bump, although Mark started that little run that they had. It was unfortunate. It was a loss in the Pacific to Pacific FC, Patamuka, and did a good job up there, but that's what kind of got him a sack. But Vancouver's been playing well for a while. So, tough team.
Brian, obviously Raul had a knock. He didn't play. Javier had a knock as well. If is it safe to say that obviously there's no real injuries? Otherwise, they would have not gone to their.
They're in good hands. The Peru fitness staff, the Ecuadorian fitness staff will decide if they're fit to play. I trust them.
Gotcha. So even if there's
My players.
so even if there's a discomfort, you just let them go, and that national team would decide.
I mean, we don't control the player right at this particular moment. So, Raul's a smart guy. He knows what's on the line. Javi's a smart guy. They all know their bodies. They should be fine.
I don't know, does it say anything about him in particular that he was able to take that much time off and just basically hit the ground running and maybe even come back physically in better shape than he was?
Yeah, probably. Played a few less games. But Tommy works him hard every day, so that the build up to Steph getting back was a pretty long runway. So that helped him. You know, he couldn't participate in full training, but he could do stuff off to the side. And so he had a good runway. Tommy's a great coach.
Brian, is there a timeline on where Nico might get back to at least some training out here?
No timeline on that one yet.
Before you go, I know the club put out a big statement about what's going on with the women's soccer league and with the rain, and I just wondered if you had anything to comment about what their players are going through.
Yeah, I think I said a lot, because I have to dive a little bit more into it to really talk, clearly about it. I read all the articles and stuff like that, but what I always take away from it is the coach-player relationship is critical. I mean, look, let's start off even as a youth coach. Say you're a youth coach, and it's like the parents, number one, teachers, and the coach. They mold young kids into, positive environment and, helping kids grow. Then you go maybe to the college level, or you're U19, 18, you're helping young men become young adults. And that's a big responsibility for college coaches or coaches that coach U18, U19 kids. And then you come up to our level, the pro level, and what is it? Well, to me, it's the trust. The trust between the player and coach is critical in many different ways. And so that coach broke trust. And they got a lot of stuff to clean up. And it was, horrific to read some of that stuff. So that's what I take away from it.
Coach João Paulo has been playing at such an MVP caliber. I mean, we just saw what he did. How much do you feel like perhaps this new formation has helped maybe exploit or maybe withstand some of those good points?
Keep tweeting that out, because I'll be your biggest supporter. I'll retweet some of your tweets. JP could play in any system. He could play the way we play, 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2. He's a great player. He's a very talented player.
Does it, along the same lines, does having a player, like having someone like Josh Atencio playing with them, does that help someone that can kind of do a lot of the extra
Aussie
running?
Christian.
I like that.
Well, actually, you said running. You said work. Aussie Christian was a great relationship. You had an older senior guy with a younger guy just coming up, and how they performed together was tremendous. Then you have JP and Josh, JP and Danny. You got an old guy waiting over there for the interview, Kellen and JP. I mean, I've got options in midfield, but yes, you're on the right track. It helps Josh immensely, and always how you pair players.